Hello there, and welcome back to the Monty Dean Show, named after me, Monty Dean. I have, as you can see, I've got Melissa Hocking Hughes stuck in my basement, and I've decided to actually talk to her again. So, yes, I ran out of friends, so I'm just going through them all again. However, I joke. Hello, Melissa, how are you?
Well, hi there. No, he didn't drag me out of the basement. It's okay, everyone. We were chatting the other day and realised just how bad everyone's feeling. So we came up with a plan.
Well, yeah, it's being a healer. Also, looking at the vision of myself, I seem to be half in shadow. I'm half Gandalf today. He's falling into the shadow, which is fine. I identify. I used to be Aragorn, but now it's Gandalf, where it's like, no, I sit in the back, watch things, and then just like whisper, like, maybe you shouldn't do that. So, but yeah, I'm a watcher. Guess what I do? This show's been recorded and being put up straight away. And we're 3 weeks into stage 4 lockdowns here in Melbourne, or Hellborn, as I call it now.
Yeah, we're in the third week. Yeah.
Yeah, it's martial law. It's basically if we go through it all, I need to write the list because I keep forgetting things, how ridiculous it actually is. You have the curfew from 8 till 5 overnight. Army and police can enter your house without a warrant. Yep. You're only allowed out for exercise 1 hour a day. That's so prison. One person from the house can go buy food. Masks are mandatory. And what else am I? I'm sure I think that it's worse than East Berlin. So.
Look, and there's a little, like, in terms of, I have a house full of people. I have a lot of kids. I have 5 kids, and we've got the last of the birthdays. We go through birthday season. We've got a birthday coming this weekend, and one of my teenage daughters needs to go shopping to get something for her sister.
Mm-hmm.
And the coordination of how the hell that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's left it too late for something to be delivered. Plus, the economy's crashing, so crime rate is going through the roof. And so at the moment, if you have stuff delivered, you've got to get out there and get it fast. You can't take it from the postman or the delivery guy, of course, because you can't have face-to-face contact.
Yeah.
But you've got to get out there fast, or it's getting plucked off doorsteps and plucked off people's properties. And so there's so much interesting scam and stuff going on. So in terms of society's management in this tight little stage 4, bizarrely inconsistently driven lockdown, it's actually creating socially, they'll study this for centuries.
Yeah, it's putting everyone into pressure. Strangely enough, part of the change that's happening, awakening or whatever. Andrew Barr says COVID-19, the gift that keeps on giving. It's like, yeah, but I don't need any more freaking presents. Like, calm down. I did a show with him today, talking about dating in a lockdown, and I realised in February, March, I may start dating again. Lockdown. Thank you, universe. That's so much. And then a bit later, it's like, no, I'm getting a bit frustrated. I want to go dating. Oh, stage 3. Thank you, universe. And then it's like, no, damn it, I need to find anybody. Stage 4. Can't leave the house. 3 mile, 5 kilometers. I don't like you anymore, universe. I described it as I'm at Zen master level of dating. Where like, oh, you want to do this? Here's another challenge, and here's another challenge, and here's another challenge. And everyone's wearing masks, so you've only got the windows for the soul, and you can't physical distancing and everything else like that.
We're in winter, so people are wearing beanies, scarves, masks. Like, I tell you, if you wear a criminal, you're all set. It's just, you could walk into any place, any shop that is actually still open and rob it, and no one's going to find you.
Apparently, I think in Las Vegas, they actually had a police report. The man was unmasked. 2020, yo.
Well, there's been oh my God, there's been some pretty scary stuff happening in Melbourne with people that haven't been wearing masks and have refused to, which is, it's scary to see. Police are still human, and I guess they're sick of the shit too. And excuse my language, everyone. But they've been given additional powers, as you mentioned, no warrants to enter the house and things like that. That additional power is becoming very dangerous. I'm talking like fingermen from V for Vendetta sort of stuff. We're starting to see people overstepping their position of power in that. And so it is, as I said, psychology degrees and specialists will be studying the society effect of this particular lockdown in Melbourne. Already it's being talked about all over the world.
I actually post...
and it's really embarrassing in terms of if I was part of the Australian government and I am part of the Australian society, it's really embarrassing how it's being discussed around the world.
It's not Australian, which is true. I actually, because I deal with most things through humour, I post it on social media. So how long till the Victorian authorities start speaking with a German accent?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the other thing during lockdown, during the curfew, you're allowed out with a work permit. So it's very papers, please. And there's
right.
I did my latest Planet Collingwood, and I just went through all the lists, and everyone's like, "What?" Because from the conspiracy world, we've been talking about the New World Order coming in, everything else like that. It's like, well, it's here. I am relieved, though.
That's one of my favourite things too. Or one of my favourite points, anyway, is the recent new fines. If you discuss any conspiracies, if you talk about anything other than what the government's agenda is, you can be fined now. So if you put anything on any traceable social media or anything like that that says, I don't agree with what the government's saying about this bloody stupid virus and, all of this sort of stuff. It's, I mean, I can talk to you about the virus and actually talk virus, and we can talk about what it actually is and what it's actually doing.
Not on the good side, fear, and then we'll get into we can go from that to what the virus is doing, and then solutions. Sort of a three-part trilogy. Wording. Yeah. It's gone from my brain what I was going to say, but that's what I do.
Well,
it's very.
Let's talk as well. Let's get into a bit of the real. We know that for those of you who haven't met me before through Monty or through anywhere else, because goodness knows I talk to a lot of people, but my name's Melissa Hocking Hughes. I head up a company called QBI Healing. I'm the chosen mouth for it. I have an exceptional gift in healing. I was born with it, have always had it, and I work in a process of healing called quantum bioenergetics, and the company is QBI Healing. It's quantum bioenergetic integration. What that is, we use quantum frequency in the form that quantum frequency is. It's a mass form of light, a form of communication, to trigger vibratory cells, living cells, to communicate at a higher level. And in a human body or an animal body or a plant body, that causes that body to heal itself, to correct itself and bring itself back to balance. That's it, real nutshell version of where I come from. There's a lot more to it. So when it comes to talking about healing, many years of doing what I do, people have had many extraordinary results. The number one thing that you want to know right now, given that here we are in August of 2020, in the middle of a so-called pandemic of a virus that's evolving at ridiculous rates and into all new strains, like I think we're up to about 22 new strains of it now, which is, of course, the coronavirus. And so the first thing you want to know is, does what I do work on viruses? Yes, it does. It freaking does. It is exceptional with what it does with viruses, because I don't begin to try and control the virus.
Well, if I may interject, I've seen her work because I know a guy, and that virus is a bit of a prick. Prick being, or dumb, because it wanted to survive so much it started killing the host. Well, duh.
That's what humanity's doing to the planet. We are the virus. We're killing our host.
Oh, that's propaganda. The planet's fine. We're run. I like David Icke. We're ruled by psychopaths and run by idiots. I've started to pick up. I got this from Andrew as well. I'm starting to even if the New World Order comes in, can you show me where the government's done anything correct ever? So the New World Order is going to probably fizzle out. While I remember it as well. Which goes into the quantum aspects of it, because fear and a low emotion, that lower vibration lowers the vibration and affects the immune system.
Yeah.
To add to the whole litany of crapness, if you protest, you get arrested, and even if you try and organize a protest, you'll be arrested as well.
You're definitely arrested.
So and so
you're going down.
So basically, it is follow the party line or you're in trouble, and you can see it in it's another expression of the divide. 3D to 5D. You've got people fighting against the draconian martial law, and then wear a mask, which doesn't work for what they're trying to do. It's like putting up a barbed wire fence to stop the flies.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. It even says it on the box, do not use this for, and even wearing a mask for 8 hours will increase or the chance of getting sick, and we can go all into that. So getting back to, in the roundabout way with the quantum thing, boost your immune system, feel light, happy, and joyful. Okay, here's a question. You can still feel fear, but you don't live in it. You know what I mean? Fear's there as
Don't set up camp.
Sorry?
Don't set up camp there.
Yeah. Because fear is if you use it correctly, like your shadow, it should be your friend. Of like, oh, a bit too close to the edge there, a bit fearful. However,
Well,
you don't spend the next 20 years.
Like,
you know what I mean?
It's like pain in the physical body, in this body.
Yeah.
Pain is the only language your physical body has to say something's gone wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's pain that'll drive you to find out if something's out of balance chemically, if you've got a tumor pushing on an organ, if you've got something like that. It is pain, and it's the only language the physical body has. It's just a signpost. It is, you feel pain, it tells you there's something else. And fear is the same. You'll feel fear, it tells you there is something you can fix beneath it.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to just live in that superficial language of warning sign. You want to actually walk through it, walk past it. Yeah. And so it's very much, I mean, depending on how bad that pain is or how bad this fear is, the bottom line is hell has a door that opens from the inside. You've got to walk your way out yourself. You're the one that opens that door. So, I mean, we can talk all sorts of extreme levels of that too. But in terms of, there are little things you can do right now in this situation where across the planet we're in various degrees of lockdown, being governed and policed and frankly bullied into submission. Not because controlling us is the power, but suppressing us gives them the power to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
So it's actually the other way around. So it's not actually about controlling us. We're nothing to them. So what, really doesn't matter. They can stand in front of the TV cameras and tell you how much they care about you and they're trying to keep your life. But in our society, and I'm talking Western society and the privileged, millions of us that are able to view this interview because we live in such a privileged space. In our society, at the moment, the elders have become the castaway, disposable generation.
Well, it goes to the profit versus humanity. Get rid of the old, they cost much, blah, blah, blah. I think the average age of an Australian is 82 years, and retirement age is 67, 68. Yes. So yeah, that's what you want to work for 40 years, 45 years, and have 12, 13 years to enjoy your life. No, well, I'd rather do something else.
At the moment, the figures in Australia in terms of the coronavirus and what's going on here, particularly here in Victoria, the average life expectancy in Australia is 82 years old. The average age of deaths from coronavirus here in Australia is 82 years old. And somehow, ever so accidentally, the coronavirus was unleashed in nursing homes, in aged care facilities. That to me is disgusting. Like that's just fine. Security guards shagged people that were in quarantine, and maybe that happened. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that's how it's hit the general community at the minimal level that it has. Really, our figures are pathetic for this lockdown, similar to New Zealand. For those who haven't heard, New Zealand's now in the last 2 days they've announced that there's 4 new cases, and they're going into hardcore lockdown like Melbourne. And they've removed those people and effectively jailed them. These people that have the virus have been removed from their homes and quarantined in facilities, which is really alarming.
And they went hard lockdown before, and 102 days without a case?
102 days with nothing, then suddenly there's 4, and they have locked borders. No one's flying in or out of the country. They're New Zealand. They're surrounded by water.
Mm-hmm.
How the hell? Where did those 4 cases come from?
See, well, you're thinking clearly, and now we can get into the swabs. Was it Tanzania? There was a president or a leader in Africa. He wasn't sure about, because Africa has to deal with the Bill Gates Foundation, and so many stories not favorable towards Bill. That he got the swabs, which it's been reported, but it's alternative. See, we're getting into information overload and what's actually true and what's anecdotal and what's made up because controlled opposition. But apparently a lot of swabs are already pre-COVID, and I think a pawpaw, a goat, and a lump of cheese came back as positive to COVID. Even some nurses have sent them through without being swabbed, and they come back as COVID. Which gets to there is one friend who I won't name because I'm not like that. It's like, I don't need that shit. All right. Germ theory is just a theory, and viruses don't exist. They're not alive. And there's that bit of element going out, and it's like, well, I don't see that because I've noted but when you're sick, it's the body purging itself of all this foreign gunk. It's like, it's amazing how me and my parents all do that at the same time. It's something that, you know what I mean?
What tends to happen, like a virus will come in, cells will die, and it's the deceased cells that will actually create the reaction.
Yeah.
So it's the deceased cells that will give you fevers and reactivity, physical reactivity to the virus. Because the cells are dying, suddenly white cell count goes up while the body's trying to recover itself, and you see all of that stuff.
So that's where you get mucus and pus and discharge.
That's right. You get
because the body's like, get rid. Because the virus, and also viruses and a level of consciousness. How do you describe it? It's a galaxy to its own. It's like, I'm a TARDIS.
I reckon I've said that phrase about 5 million times this year. But it was about actually I can tell you it was 2007 when I was the bird flu, avian flu was huge. Actually, there's been a new outbreak of the bird flu just recently. We can talk about that. But the bird flu, which is a similar flu to this flu, which is the coronavirus, and it was out, and people were freaking out and pandemic and oh my God, and here we go, it's the bird flu, it's going to take us all out. And but they didn't actually, the media didn't get on enough. And anyway, but I was literally running past the TV screen, getting ready for work in the morning, and there was a scientist on. It was about 5-6 a.m. There was a scientist on who was just beside himself, saying, "My God, this virus, it's like a galaxy unto its own." And I thought, that's it. That's exactly it. A virus is a galaxy unto its own. Like, I just stopped in my tracks and went, oh my God, completely changed with QBI Healing and quantum bioenergetics how we addressed viruses. And literally the same day I went to work, I had a client come in with a very long chronic fatigue syndrome. She had been suffering chronic fatigue for over 30 years. And now chronic fatigue, for those of you that aren't aware, and I won't go too much into it, but it's an accumulation of viruses under a primary virus. That's what causes it. That's your short version. I can tell you that from the information load I get from the quantum exchange of frequency.
And it just drains energy? Is that because if you're chronically
tired, the body's just massively fatigued. Like,
because it's
the host is struggling.
It's fighting, and you've got a virus which is a general. It's like, well, we'll collect that, because if the immune system's attacking a main virus and you get another virus, I'm sure it's like, oh, hey, come on. Henry's wonderful. So hang out with me.
That's right. Hey, look, beauty. Henry's got the immune system distracted. We're going to hop in and nest somewhere else. And so straight away from this particular woman, she came in, she had an accumulation, found the primary virus, treated it under what I immediately gleaned from the morning when I saw that scientist say that one phrase. I immediately treated the virus as a life form under its own vibration within another life form.
Yeah.
And so that's what it is. And you want to think of it like the human race on the planet. We are a separate life form to the planet herself. We are effectively her virus, perhaps her parasite. But it's but that's how a virus needs to be perceived. The medical fraternity that we're used to, conventional medicine, that we're supposed to listen to because they have all the money, have no clue. They are, now you would have heard me say this before, Mont, but when it comes to viruses, I've always said if you want to be diagnosed, really conventional medicine is the best place to go. Diagnosis is bloody brilliant. But in terms of viruses, no, they're not. They're not good at diagnosing viruses. They don't know what to look for.
Yes.
And so there's an awful lot to learn in conventional medicine about how to discover a virus. And in terms of treatment of a virus, they are useless. In fact, most of the treatments that they would apply actually help the virus kick
Oh,
on.
yeah. I put my life on hold for 3 years. I'm familiar with what you're referring to. And it's, if you have a broken leg and how it's good for triage. It's very military based, isn't it?
It's great for trauma. It is.
Yeah.
Conventional medicine has its place, absolutely. And you've got to remember that doctors only know what doctors know. And they only know what they've been allowed to know.
Yeah.
And what they've been governed to know through their university degrees and everything, everywhere that they went. Doctors only know what they know. It's not their fault that they don't know this stuff, because the bottom line is those that are teaching them don't know. Yeah. And so this is really new stuff. Interestingly, I have to complete a video abstract for our new research chapter, which is based in viruses, because we have such great success rate with it. So the short version, I know you guys are going to ask this, does it work on the COVID viruses? Yes, it does. My work, what we do. Mm-hmm. And yes, it works in remote sessions. You don't actually have to come and see me, because that's also something that's pretty key in the moment.
Well, if I may step in now, let's get the woo-woo on, or let's be fair, reality, because woo-woo
this is something I wanted to discuss with you, because in most interviews that I do, where I'm talking to even the alternative medicine and then everything that's conventional, from cancers and everything else that I deal with, but the one thing that I wanted to do, and I know I can do with you, and is discuss the fact that this virus is in fact multidimensional. The coronavirus is morphing in and out of. It seems to leave one dimension and come back with some new tricks. Mm-hmm. And it's there's been a few strains of it. And as I said, it's developing and evolving at such a rapid rate. Now, you'll see everywhere in articles that scientists and doctors are baffled by how fast this virus is evolving. But it was actually, I think it was Andrew Barnes, actually the galactic historian who you just spoke to this morning. He's the one that made me look at it thinking that's what it's doing. It's actually, at first I thought, is it shifting timelines, Mandela effect, all of that? You guys can all look that up. But then, as I've discussed with you earlier, just when we were chatting a few days ago, mm-hmm. the Mandela effect at the moment is kind of over. It's kind of converged. And then your description of that was really, really good, where you're talking about the fact that at the moment we're bottlenecking.
Yeah.
In terms of all the timelines and everything going on, at the moment we seem to be going through, what did you call it, the midpoint of the hourglass?
Yeah, Bashar, not the leader of Syria. I have to say that just for comic effect. It's like not the leader, the channel 6 Syrian. Anyway, Bashar. We're going through the eye of a needle, which is very bottleneck, and it's not just one timeline. We're on the graduation timeline, but it's a collection. It's like fiber optics, where it could be 100 fiber optics, but we're in a cable in that respect. And you can feel an element of pressure going through. And I think, there's a release point in January or February next year. I think I've shared with...
Everything's pointing this too, whether you believe in it or not. The universe around us, the galaxy around us, is actually all aligning into this point too. Like at the moment, it's chaos out there astrologically. It's and it's
half the solar system in retrograde. I'm like, oh, you bastards!
It's exhausting. We're watching the Schumann resonance, the frequency on the planet spiking at ridiculous levels, doing some really weird stuff to finally clear out the 3D levels.
Yeah, in the last week, there was 3 C+ solar flares, and so I need to keep. I just look at the Schumann resonance, which is like the result. Because there's all this, the sun and everything else like that, and I sort of remember to look at the Schumann. It's not like every day 5 o'clock I need to look at it, because you get addicted to that sort of data. It's more of just feeling like, well, I feel like crap. Oh, hello, that's a lot of yellow and white on the graph. But it's the sun, because
as I said, I've got a house full of kids, all different ages, all different hormone mixes, all sorts of physiological ages, which is great. And then I've got animals in the house, dogs, cats, things like that. Yeah. And so I will see a spike in them that'll make me go and look up the Schumann resonance.
Yeah. That's what I sort of
feeling crap.
Yeah, it's sort of a permission slip of I'll go check instead of studying the human resonance. It's more of like, okay, what's going? Even where like, I'm feeling crap, and 3 days of just green nothing. It's like, okay, it's something else then.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
because of where the solar system's situated in the galaxy, I like the flat earthers. It's like, well, the stars don't move. Yeah, because everything's freaking moving.
Everything's always moving.
Yeah.
I think the image that we have when we're taught about the solar system, where there's a sun, and here's Earth, and then there's no. The sun does this.
Yeah, we're
It's a
spiraling.
star. Number one, it's a star, everyone. The sun's a star, and it's actually not a very impressive star.
It's
a little faffy one.
Yeah.
But it does this, and the planets are we are constantly mobile. And so it's amazing to me that we have this perspective of a still of the solar system, that we're all just stagnant, sitting there.
It's a funnel. It's like a vortex, and being an energy worker, you can see a vortex in everything.
It's where I live. It's my primary communication. But it's the thing too. Like recently, here we are in August. We've just had the Lionsgate, which is still very powerful at the moment. We're now like a week on from it, and it's still an extraordinary powerful one this year. The Lionsgate is an alignment. It's a universal alignment that opens portals, and it's an alignment that actually lines right up directly with the pyramids of Giza here on this planet.
Yeah, and
which comes through the star system of Orion, heads out through into Sirius, where the gate opens and a portal of communication opens. And this happens every year, 8th of the 8th, the Lion's Gate.
Yeah.
And so that at the moment has contributed big time to everyone feeling crap. Schumann resonance is going off. If you don't believe in the Schumann resonance, all you need to know is we are electromagnetic frequency beings. We live in a magnetic state on a magnetic planet. And of course, anything from the star that we call the sun that flares is going to affect the magnetics on this planet, and hence us. We all know that the brain, the heart, everything holds its own electromagnetic field.
To add to that, the magnetic field of the Earth is a bit wibbly wobbly and decreased for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
The sun is doing something similar, and so if you look at the geomagnetic is like a shield to stop cosmic rays,
which is called what's it called? The corona.
Well, yeah, there's that.
That's what that
now the
is called.
Now the sun had. I'm sure the sun doesn't really need its own magnetic shield, because you go near it and you'll burn up. But this magnetic tethering from the sun to the planets, that's how we get dragged upon, as well as the gravity. And there's a 4-hour conversation. Does it push? Does it pull? But the solar system is, if you look at it as an atom. Well, it's a broken atom if you actually look at all but there is a magnetic shield, or the heliosphere, I think it is, or something. There's a shield around the solar system itself, and that's weakened, and that's allowing cosmic rays in. And that's the fascinating thing about it. It's where, it's a Schumann resonance. Well, okay, that could be 17 things. It could be just the
Stephen Hawking, or the late Stephen Hawking, he actually talked about that weakening field or shield.
Yeah.
Or divisive atmospheric line, if you like, border. He talked about that, about the fact that the sun itself is dying, it's diminishing, and so of course its field is with it, and so its projected boundary is becoming patchy.
Mm-hmm.
And so, which you would expect, like it's kind of aging. So,
yeah, we're talking billions of years. Don't worry, it's like Thursday, sun's going. No. The planets will go before the star. You'll still be able to see Metallica in 2020. That's all I'm saying. 2022. It's not immediate. Like Andromeda's going to crash into the Milky Way. Panic! How long? About 14,000 years. We're fine then. All right.
Yeah, we'll be good. I don't think we're a whole lot longer on this planet. But but I'm talking centuries. You're okay.
Yeah.
But let's get back to talking about that field and that shield around the individual, around the human, and what we can do right now under stress.
I was about to say,
let's bring it back into the human cell, which is itself.
Well, as above, so below. So, as your body's a TARDIS. You're bigger on the inside, and so
that's right.
That's
spiritual. I'm going to use that. I'm going to write it. Just say I wrote it.
And so and all this stuff, even with the example is like
put that on one of our t-shirts.
Yeah, exactly.
T-shirt. Your body's a TARDIS, Monty Dean. Okay.
the alpha wave is the magnetic field as well, because we are magnetic generators, or we're immersed in it as well. So there's an effect. You can affect it, and it affects you if you know what you're doing, obviously.
Yeah.
And so there's a magnetic resonance around the heart and just everything as well. So how I even forgot I asked this 2 days ago. How can people deal with the negative aspects of what's going on, apart from turning off the television?
I did see a great meme the other day of a lady wiping her TV screen. I used antibacterial wipes. Suddenly, I'm not getting any of the television, none of the
CNN,
none of
Channel 9,
none of this channel, none of that channel. It's fantastic.
Because and that one very quick thing that still leads into this: how disgusting is it? It's like we're in the middle of a pandemic where 100 people have died out of 7, blah 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 blah. Have you seen once on national or mainstream media people saying eat right and boost your immune system, try vitamin C, and any of that, even from the doctors?
Well, let me tell you, first of all, with this virus, it's not going to go away. No amount of lockdown is going to help us. This is actually a really ignorant approach to this virus, running away and hiding in a closet.
Makes it worse.
What we need to do is learn what to do to live with it. And we've done this. Like, we as humans have done this over centuries. We've learned to live with and developing. There's a theory of herd immunity, but this goes beyond herd immunity. This is about learning to just self-sustain amongst an environment where, yes, this virus is here. It's here to stay. It's not going to go away. No amount of hiding in closets is going to make this virus disappear. It's just going to make us weaker to deal with it when we come out. Mm-hmm. And that's what's happening. So we're in the closet getting weaker at the moment. The immune system's going down. And like you said, Mont, due to stress,
mm-hmm.
Stress, of course, cortisol is the stress hormone, and that's hitting all of us at the moment. It's enormous. It affects your immune system dramatically, depletes your ability to heal yourself dramatically, and it depletes your ability to defend yourself. That's what your immune system's trying to do.
That's like the chemical level.
Yeah, cortisol is, the hormone in the body that's actually your stress responder. So when your stress level goes up, cortisol levels go up. And what we're going to do, like the number one sort of fight back or rebalance of that cortisol level, is to feed your serotonin levels a little bit. So we're going to do that with just some really simple stuff. One of the first things, there's lots of stuff you can do in terms of what you eat that helps your serotonin levels. There's you want to eat stuff that's got tryptophan. Tryptophan is it's an amino acid that's found in high protein foods. So high protein foods like broccoli and legumes, and if you're a meat eater, of course, there's protein in that if you eat flesh. But there's anything that's a protein-rich food. So it's not necessarily, going out and getting the KFC is not necessarily going to help you. You want food that's protein-rich, that's digestible as well. You need to be able to assimilate the nutrient. But yeah, there's stuff too, other things with that. Omega-3s, which are in fish and nuts and things like that. Omega-3 oils are always really great. But another thing you can do, so this is all working with tryptophan, which is your natural amino acid that's going to help boost serotonin. And this is just eating. Now, vitamin D, let's talk that. Vitamin
sunlight.
D, they known and have stated and have never actually withdrawn that statement that one of the number one defenses against the COVID viruses, the various strains, is vitamin D. Now, vitamin D is not a vitamin. It's actually a hormone, for those of you that didn't know that. And yes, there's the whole getting out in the sun, but we all know we're in lockdown. That's not so easy right now.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to talk about the sun too. Vitamin D is very easy to ingest. You can get a supplement that's really helpful as well, and that's a better way to take it for us as humans. Dogs produce their own vitamin D. For some reason, humans don't. You actually have to take it in. So now, in terms of sun, let's talk about the sun and how effective that is. It is, to be in direct sunlight is incredibly healthy for you. Yeah, sunscreens and stuff, peel those suckers off. They're horrible things. Mm-hmm. Anyway, one of the reasons I want you to get out of the sun, I want you to expose this. And so quite deliberately today, I'm wearing something that exposes this area.
That where the thyroid is?
This is exactly what we're heading for, the thyroid gland. The thyroid gland, and a lot of people don't know this about the thyroid. The thyroid it actually holds its own memory. It's quite an amazing, amazing organ. It's not just some hormonal thing that makes you put on weight or whatever. Yeah, right. Any virus that comes into your system is going to try to get to that thyroid. And the reason they do, particularly things like Epstein-Barr viruses, things like glandular fever, stuff like that, but we'll go back to that anyway. one of the reasons the thyroid, if you expose this area to direct sunlight, the thyroid banks the positive effects of sunlight, and it can actually store it and use it later.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's quite an amazing gland. It's really quite cool. The thyroid, what it actually does in your body, this is what the thyroid does. It's not just something hormonal that triggers, that, you know, hassles women. The thyroid is actually the master balance keeper of the body. It's the one that knows when the liver needs help and the spleen can spare the energy. It's the one that says, you know, the kidneys aren't doing so well. Can the heart secrete a little more hormone so that the kidneys can secrete a little more fluid? Like, this guy is the communicator that keeps balance in the system. So, and even if you've had your thyroid removed, and I hope you haven't, but if you have because someone said you're hypothyroid, you've got Hashimoto's, various other things that I like to blame on thyroids, and they remove it, even if they remove it, you still have the imprint of memory of it. They can never actually 100% remove your thyroid. So you've still got it there.
So you take the physical's gone, but the next frequency up, the, dare I say, light body, it's still there.
Well, the light body's still in the tissues. Even in the tissues surrounding the thyroid, it still holds that cellular memory, similar to, we know the heart holds its own cellular memory as well. Yep. And so the thyroid's actually really powerful. Exposing that to direct sun whenever you get the chance, do it. Bank that sunlight. Bank the vitamin D from the sun.
I would like to add, being Australians, we know this, like, don't do it between 11 and 3 in the daytime. Because you shall burn, you shall burn alive and crisp and look like a lobster. So I find the right thing. Now, that very quickly, that goes back to the magnetic shield and everything else like that, because there's certain gardening groups where people have worked the same farm for 3 generations and leaves are burning, and the sunlight and the radiation that's coming through.
Which is interesting, because we thought that was the ozone. Remember how we all thought, oh, hole in the ozone, we're all going to die, we're all going to get. But the ozone's actually repaired itself.
Yes.
The planet knows how to heal itself too, everyone.
Yeah, yes.
But
very good, very good. Yes, that's what I said. Like, the planet's fine.
She's a lot wiser than we are as human beings. But yeah, we all thought that was ozone, but no, in fact, it is to do with changing shift of sunlight, the mix of what's actually coming from the star, the electromagnetic field that is so much stronger and spiking so much more. We're seeing so much more about what's going on with that. Right. Like, really, if we could all just collaborate. I mean, maybe that's what my abstract should be for because I've got to put my abstract in for the research body in the United States today, and it's for our next research chapter. And maybe that's what it should be. If we could just all collaborate, if everyone was just getting, I found this fascinating thing in the biofield. I found it in the, But anyway, let's keep working on what we can do for you. So,
well, very quickly, for those who aren't sure about the sun, Melissa and I are old enough when we remember the sun being yellow.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
we are that old.
Yeah, we remember it was yellow. It's now white. So, of course, all the SJWs are upset because it's racist. But keep going. But yeah, I just want to share, I don't know if
a few little psychological tricks.
Yes. Yes.
I want you some little psych tricks that you can start right now. So number one, what I want you to do is I want you to find a little phrase that is your go-to, I don't give a shit phrase.
Yeah.
It's going to release you from the stress. My phrase for that, and you're welcome to use it if you like, is all is appropriate.
Mm-hmm. Now,
all is appropriate is everything happens for a reason. Everything does. Everything, and that reason may show itself immediately or might show you years later, but everything happens for a reason. Even if your car wouldn't start this morning, or even if you got stuck at a train crossing much longer and you ran late for work, there will be a reason that happened for you. And the reason will be in your best interest. It's always for your best interest. It's not to torment you. It's not to torture you. So my phrase is all is appropriate. Even when I'm stressed to the bejeepers, I'll just sit back and go, all right, this is happening for a reason. All is appropriate. I want you to find that phrase. If the phrase for you is, and again, forgive my language, if the phrase for you, give a shit, it's my life. Whatever works, let yourself go of all that's happening around you. Give yourself that release trigger and say it out loud. Speaking words hold power.
Yes.
All is appropriate. Take a breath. That's the second psych trick I want to give you. It's the second little mini meditation. Take a freaking deep breath.
Yes, breathe. As I've said, like when you go into your heart, it doesn't mean your brain turns off when you ascend, because the first thing your heart's going to say is breathe, you idiot, because you need the brain. My thing, I don't say it out.
Lungs, fill them up. Take a deep breath before anything else. Suck it in. If you use, and many millions do around the world, so there's an app that you can use called the Calm app. That's a meditation app that actually I really love. It's one of my favorite ones. And the first thing you do when you turn that app on your phone, the first thing it says a little blue screen. It says take a deep breath. It's the first thing it says, just before you even, okay, you wanted to meditate, you're not feeling good, take a deep breath.
Vinny Eastwood's done the same thing.
That's your second one.
Yeah, Vinny. If I may, Vinny Eastwood's done the same thing, where it's like, if you're feeling stressed, and close your eyes, remember that you're alive, take a deep breath. Everything's fine in this moment of the now, and it's all the same premise. I've seen people describe it as like, instead of like, why is this happening to me? It should be, what is the lesson here?
Yeah. Why is this happening around me?
Yeah.
You know, what am I here to learn? What was I meant to pick up from this?
Yeah, because like people say, oh, do you play video games? No, I live in one. And that's sort of how I deal with reality. It's like, my car does something.
I saw your post on, I think it was Facebook the other day about, wouldn't it be funny if you sort of woke up somewhere else and all the aliens around you said to you, hey, did the drug work? What happened?
Yeah, you pull a cone. Yeah, you pull some drugs. It's like, and once you die, it's like, did you feel it? It's like, yeah.
Did it work for you?
Yeah.
But
yeah, so finding
another one, and this is going to lead into something else too, and something else that I'm going to give to all of your listeners that are listening to this interview and this chat that we're having. And it's a cool gift that I know the staff at QBI Healing are not going to like, but
well, they only allow one person to talk, so yeah.
Do it now. But,
yeah, I mean, I'm
just a freebie.
I'm just the owner, the voice of it, just little things. Yeah.
Little things. But so your next site trick, and this is just the start of what I'm going to lead into, but your next one is to start your day with a smile. Smile, even if you have to fake it. But there are other ways you can do it. Look up a fail video, have a look at a cat meme. I mean, there's lots of little ways you can start. Have a look at Monty's page on Facebook. He's always got some great stuff there. He's a comedian first and foremost. So it's like, get on to that.
I meme with the best of them.
But start your day with a smile. The reason you start with a smile is because there is a chemistry to your smile. When you physically smile, you release a chemistry that allows the body to relax. It's the physical act of a smile gets yourself out of your head and out of your own way. Even if it's only for a second, it will calm you down.
Good for phone calls.
Sorry?
The trick, like, I'm ecstatic, I'm having a ball. If you smile, your voice changes.
That's right. Or you smile on the phone, you'll find you get much better results from the other end.
Yeah.
Like, you have to do this when you're talking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it's a physical thing, and you have control. You can still, it's a fake smile. However, because you, depending on your intent, it's like, well, I feel like crap, but I'm going to smile anyway. And if you notice, just then, I went lighter and my voice went up.
That's right.
Even though I hate you with a passion, but I'm not going to let it happen. I'm not going to let it, affect me.
This is a purely physical response that causes you to feel so much better from even a fake smile. But I mean, if you're lucky, like Monty has a fabulous cat called Scoffy. She's clearly an alien. She's just super cool. Mm-hmm. And as much as he complains about the noise she makes and everything, I guarantee every time he gets up, he smiles at her, and that makes a huge difference. I mean, I'm in a house that's full of fabulous people that I get to call my children that laugh. There's music, there's all sorts of stuff. And so we have a lot of smiles in our house, but also there's a lot of people, a lot of hormones, a lot of stuff going on. We have the balance, believe me, that it's not always easy here either. Believe me, keep it real, keep it real. And I'm a sole parent. For those of you watching, I'm doing this on my own and a house full of kids.
And for those playing at home, I don't have kids, so Melissa had my two to help humanity move forward.
No, they're not actually his kids.
No. It's a clerical thing. It's not a physical thing.
It's a spiritual thing.
Yeah. But, just look at the numbers.
Oh, God. But start just physically. If you just want to take that on, start your day with a smile. Now, while I'll still talk about that smile, there is another process, and this is the freebie I'm giving you. We have a self-healing process with QBI Healing that will lock and load the Vimeo link for you to go and do. Now, normally this costs $147. I'm going to make it free for the next 7 days for anyone that's watching this. Okay. So I'm going to unlock it, let you go to it and use the self-healing process. You will experience quantum bioenergetics. You're going to feel that integration of frequency run through your body and help your body to heal. I teach it myself. it's an 8-minute clip or 7-minute clip, something like that. Anyway, someone will tell me. It's about 7 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
And it explains why we do what we do. But one of the keys in that is you need to physically smile in the process. It's just a quick smile, but I will explain to you in that healing process why you smile. And so, and that's probably a great place for us to sort of wrap it up there. So I'm not sure how Monty will share it, but if you want to go to the QBI Healing page on Facebook, or you can go to qbihealing.com, which is the website, of course, or you can find me, Melissa Hocking Hughes, on Facebook, Instagram, all those good things. We're all there. Then I will make sure the link is there for the next 7 days for you to do it for free. Once you've done it, you can use it as many times as you like. You can use it wherever you like for the rest of your life. Well, this is a session and a healing session that you will be able to access in yourself forever.
Send me the link and I'll put it in the description of the video.
Okay.
Underneath. Yeah. Also, so from our point of time in the Pope's work schedule, it's the 14th. So if you're in the United States, you're only slightly behind in time, nothing else.
So which is our time will shut it down on the 22nd.
Yeah, so it'll be the 20th.
You have to pay for it again. So, get on the free. I know that's not good business for me or for anyone else, but it is good for you.
So what I'm thinking, the 22nd, that's the end of the Democratic Convention. Why? I have no idea why I've made that connection. So if you're watching the video after the connection, where creepy Sniffy Joe has accepted the nomination, but that's the another way to add to that as well is I say watch comedy, for comedy that you like. And
one of the best shows you can do though at the moment is Andrew Bartis. For those who don't know, is I was going to say galactic comedian. You'll have to tell him I said that.
No, I'm the intergalactic comedian. He's the historian. I jokingly call him, you're the cosmic librarian.
He is. He's a galactic historian. He's a cosmic librarian. That's a good description. Quite an amazing, gifted man. He's based over in the States, and he and Mont are doing a show together. Mont is, of course, all comedy. And I'm here to tell you, watch and listen to that show because it's wickedly intelligent, but hysterically funny as well. And if you need to start your day with a smile, jump on board with that. But I would say to you too, you've got your own channel on YouTube.
Yes. Well,
with your shows and everything. Plus, just follow Mont on Instagram and social media everywhere. And Mont's always putting up stuff that'll crack you up.
Oh yeah, yeah. I like to make people just like the latest one. You remember the Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers with the King of Rohan and Wormtongue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Yeah, they've replaced. It's Kamala Harris as Wormtongue and Joe Biden as the Theodore King in his old stuff. Or like, just poker, just being cheeky like that. So, it's quite fun. The show I would recommend to add to it. You don't have to just watch one or whatever. Apart from my own stuff here on Wafer Thin Entertainment, like, subscribe, and share the video. Is Whose Line Is It Anyway?
That's always great.
Because it's theatre sports or improvisation. Even if they get a heads up just before, just the way that they both work. Not both, sorry, I'm just thinking of Colin and Ryan. Just the way they interact with each other because they know each other on the same frequency. The sort of a mind meld thing, and it's just great to see them crack up laughing because it's so stupidly funny. One line from Colin Mockery that I've got is like, do you mind if I fluff my Garfield? Like, what the hell does that mean? I'm fluffing my Garfield. Oh, okay. So it's people like Hannah Gatsby. If you love that type of humor, find comedy that makes you laugh. If you don't like Andrew Dice Clay, don't watch Andrew Dice Clay.
No,
it's fine. What's good
comedy?
for you?
I mean, the stuff that I love that's old school, like MASH. Love
Yeah.
MASH. There's stuff I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine as well.
Marx Brothers.
Sorry.
The Marx Brothers still works after 100 years, nearly 100 years. It's just a shame that their older brother Carl couldn't be part of the troupe. He had these weird political things, Karl Marx. Anyway.
Hannah Gadsby, awesome. There's also Jerry Seinfeld's latest thing on Netflix. What was it? 23 Hours. Oh, but that was way more hysterical than I even expected. It was really clever. He's a clever comedian, that dude.
Dave Chappelle, if that is your cup of tea. Bill Burr. Bill Burr as well. I'm not a big fan of Joe Rogan's comedy, but I see what he's doing and he gets laughs. And it comes down to personal preference.
Yeah, that's
And
right. But look, grab onto a couple of things that you know you're going to love. There's going to be, I guess, Instagram's so easy because it's so instant.
yeah,
Where the meme is right there in front of you. Find the funny cat ones. Find whatever works for you that you know is going to make you laugh. Cat's cucumbering is always good for my family. Fortunately, we have some live action in the house with a bit of that. It's too
I like
easy.
cats with lightsabers.
There you
Yeah.
go. So,
And also, if you've got a housemate that is a little bit left on the wokey side, the JSW, get a copy of Blazing Saddles and just watch that with them. You'll have a ball. You'll watch them melt down, explode, and it's like, how can they say all this stuff? It's like, yeah, Richard Pryor, one of the greatest stand-up comics ever, helped write this. He didn't write any of the racial jokes. He actually did all the Mongo stuff. It's like, oh wow, but it's like this all the. Yeah, especially it was Mel Brooks, Jewish, with all his Jewish friends, and they got Richard Pryor in. So there's hardly any white people involved, so they can't really rally against it. I mean, if you can ban Gone with the Wind because it's got slaves in it, it was made in the 1930s, about 60 years beforehand.
It's a bit like the COVID thing. Hiding in the closet's not going to make it go away.
Yeah.
And banning and taking Gone with the Wind off isn't going to change the history. So
very quickly, I can share this. You have a clone set. I mean, twins.
Identical twins. Yeah.
And you allow them to, maybe not now, but still going outside and playing in the dirt. I'm sure you don't like it when they play in the dirt, but
no. Very deliberately, when my older kids were younger, my oldest is 21, but when my older kids were younger, I moved to a fabulous mountain that had an amazing property, and my kids got dirty. They dealt with wildlife. They got grotty. They have amazing immune systems.
Now, is that because, like, you may not be sick, but as an example, a molecule of dirt gets into the system, and then the immune system's like, oh, foreigner. Oh, he's nice. We'll figure out how to deal with.
It's the whole thing of giving it a bit of a workout.
Yeah.
I mean, your body will always have some viruses in it, and you want it to.
Yes.
You want your immune system to keep its muscle up. It needs to keep training. You want it to go to the gym a couple of times a week. And so you want a few viruses in there. And it's the same thing. Like, it's very much that exposure to environment that's going to help that immune system stay strong.
Which is interesting what's happening with the COVID-19 or the SARS-CoV-2, or the names keep changing, is that people have sort of figured out that there was a wave of COVID 2 months before lockdown, but it was very mild, and it just did the normal flu season type deal, where it was too weak, and this strong immune system's like, oh, hello, yeah, see you soon. It just worked it through.
Sweden. I mean, Sweden, they'll do a whole, Sweden's got it wrong, herd immunity. Oh, look, everyone's dying. They got it wrong. But actually, if you have a look now, if you're brave enough to have a look at what's happening in Sweden, they're doing really great.
Yeah, only with the COVID thing, the whole migrant thing and the blacks and the whole raping, not so good. But with the COVID,
we're not talking that today.
Yeah, no. But from the COVID,
I'm afraid I'm going to have to go.
No, that's all right.
Because we've hit time, I'm afraid. But and I've got to go and answer to all the stuff about the fact that I've offered that freebie.
but it's Mont. It's Mont.
No doubt I'll say that and they'll all roll their eyes like, God.
he's still around, is he? It's very funny.
So, listen,
so how
thank you
can
so much for having me today.
No, that's all right. Thank you for the chat. I need content, but also it was sort of the right time to share from your perspective. Like, COVID seems to be a time-traveling, multi-dimensional virus, which is connected to a karmic-based resolution. That's what sort of Andrew's been sharing.
We're going to, the plan is, and we talked about this the other day, but I will say this too, hopefully I'm going to jump on board with one of Andrew's shows and discuss it with him, because to talk about the multidimensionalism and the galactic exchange of this virus and how it's communicating will be a whole other level of woo-woo. But for those of you that are here and human and are going, I don't want to talk about all that, you don't need to. We've given you a few little tools, little simple psych tricks that are going to help you feel much better in a few seconds. And feeling better is going to strengthen that immune system for you.
And on a certain level as well, even I know I've had lots of conversations like this with people in depression. It still is a choice now to get out of the depression. Like in a way, it's a choice to get into depression. It could be so many years and you're at your lowest point. And when I say it's a choice, it's like, well, it's not going to happen overnight. Correct. But you have a choice of like, okay, I don't want to feel this anymore. I want to do better. I've noticed this year where I started getting angry or crappy or whatever it is, I actually had part of me say, I don't want to feel this. That's how I'm defending myself against negativity. I'm tired of being angry and tired and all that kerfuffle, which is fascinating because you have control and it's if you have a choice. And then fun part of it is when you come out of it, it's like, oh, I got out of that. Of course, there's a challenge of like, how do I feel sad again? Like, naturally sad, because it's so close to depression. But once you get past that hurdle as well, you'll notice that you can enjoy life because everything is up and down in a certain aspect, the way that frequency works in a vibration.
It always will be. That's the balance of this life. Life looks like this. It doesn't look like this. If it looks like this, you're flatlining.
And a great way to end the show is because that's sort of what the government's trying to do by flattening the curve, and that's pushing everyone. There's an element of frequency pressure going on because the amount of numbers, like it is sad that people are dying. From the woo-woo perspective, they've got soul contracts and it's their time to go, drop body and move forward, and that's where you get the karma resolution of part of the virus. But also how much other damage has been happening, because apparently no one else has died from anything this year apart from COVID.
Oh, well, yeah. Like it is. It's getting, I mean, well, we've been laughing about some of the memes that we've seen that people have put up where I was saying to you about there's a photo of a guy that's been in a car accident and he's hanging out the front of his windshield.
Yeah.
And an interviewer is saying, so when did you catch COVID?
Yes. Fell to their death from a parachute not opening. Oh, clearly it's COVID. But that's sort of gallows humor and dealing.
Have a look at the basic diseases and so there's basic lists out there of numbers of deaths due to certain diseases. You've got cancer, you've got suicides way ahead. Even things like septicemia are way ahead on the death rate than COVID is. I know this virus has spread in a spectacular cloud across the globe. It is mutating and evolving differently on different parts of the planet. Different strains are appearing according to different physical construct of the physical bodies that it's dealing with. The way it would deal with someone in the UK is different to how it will deal with the physical body of someone in Zambia.
Yeah, or Iran.
Yeah. So it's that's why we're seeing these different strains where a virus, in order to survive, similar to the humans and how we have, will evolve and adapt to a changed environment of host. And so we are seeing it differently. But people still have cancer. People are still dying with AIDS. And that's actually, HIV is part of this virus. And so people are still dying with HIV. They say they die of HIV. In fact, what they die of is many complications from their immune system being suppressed. And so ultimately it'll be something else, usually pneumonia or something, that ends the body's life. But yeah, COVID may be causative, but the death is symptomatic.
Yeah.
It may be causative, affecting someone that's stage 4 cancer or immunocompromised, someone that's, various other things that are in place when they get it. And that's why we're seeing that people with pre-existing conditions are dying with COVID, not of it, with it.
Yeah.
It's a nasty virus. There's no denying it is. But your susceptibility is really up to the individual. And your defense is to make sure your immune system is where it can be. It's your body, your immune system. Use whatever tools you can. And go back through this. Watch this show again and again and just go back through the stuff we've mentioned, the tryptophan, the vitamin D, your thyroid, all of that sort of stuff. Lower your cortisol levels wherever you can, which means reduce your stress level in any immediate way that you can do that for yourself.
Yeah, you're human. Adapt. Yeah. And as well, eat natural food. And I'll leave the show with this lovely joke. You've got in a supermarket, you've got the health foods aisle, which begs the question: what the hell is everything else?
That's right. That's right. Work away from the processed stuff. Eat green stuff. Like, you don't need an apple that's been sliced and put in plastic. It's already packaged. It comes as a package deal.
Yeah, let's
So
not
it's
get it.
like in its
So
natural
just
state
so
off the
quickly,
tree.
so quickly for everyone watching and listening, how is the best way of getting in contact with this type of stuff and your or yourself
Thanks.
or
Look,
with
on the
QBI?
website, QBIHealing.com. You can always hit the contact form through there if nothing else. But you'll find me and QBI on all social media everywhere. If you need to find us, you'll find us.
Yeah,
And
good.
there's lots of different communication ways. You can imagine at the moment we are heavily inundated with calls and requests for remote healing sessions and assistance. And as I said, we're seeing amazing results all over the world, which is fantastic. If you need that, you can contact us too. But we will get back to you as fast as we can.
And to find me, most likely you already know that because you're watching or listening to this. So if you're on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and share. And slowly my army shall fill. I'm sorry, wrong meeting. So thank you, Melissa, for being on. I'm sure we'll get you back on because everything can change in about 12 hours on the planet at this point in time. So, 2020, what a decade. So we will see you soon, ladies and gentlemen.
By the end of it, we'll be saying what a century. But
yeah, thanks for that. Now, don't give time an idea. We shall all speak to you soon. Bye-bye.